again. What's happening? Hope everybody's having a wonderful day, a blessed day. Just gonna wait for more people to come into the live stream. If this is the first time you own this live stream, make sure you hit that like button and please subscribe to the channel. It really will help me quite a bit. I really appreciate that. What's up, Mark? Mark is here, always there, man. What's happening, brother? Yeah, I was going to jump back on here for a little bit, share some news, tell you guys what's going on. Good to see you, brother. Marcus, you're my number one fan, like you said. You're the number one. I can always count on you being on the live stream. Yeah. That's how many people on. Still two people. Hey, what's up, Easy? What's happening, man? How are you doing? Yeah, T-Ron. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How's everybody doing, man? Say doing normal, man. Same here, man. I got to get back to Colombia, man. I got to get back. I'm losing Cookie. I'm losing Cookie just like I lost Barbie. So I got to get back out there soon. You said you got me playing on your TV. Oh, wow. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, Easy. I really love Colombia a lot. I love that place a lot, man. Yeah, I have a good time every time I go there. My friend Cookie is there. It's like when I left, I used to talk to her at least 2 or 3 times a day, but now I feel like she's drifting away. Yeah, it's like a sanctuary. Yes, sir. Yep, it's a sanctuary. Absolutely. But I feel that Cookie is starting to drift away. It's like sometimes I communicate with her, and she returned my message and everything. But I gotta get there. I gotta get there as soon as possible. I'm looking to do it in May. You said, but some American women don't like Colombia. Yeah, some don't. I mean, yeah, some don't like Colombia, but I like Colombia. What's up, E? What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? What's happening? What's happening? Well, I got some more news coming out of Colombia again. They're still turning people away, man. There's another person that was turned away. They are really cracking down in Colombia with this sex tourism stuff. And what they're doing is if they find out that there was one guy that was turned away, I just got this message today. He was turned away because they found he had condoms in his bag. If they see that you're coming down there for that reason, if they think that you're coming down there for that reason, they are going to turn you away and put an alert on your passport that you won't be allowed to enter the country. So he was denied entry. You said Colombians are American too. South American is still America. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, condoms in the bag is a violation. Yeah, you gotta wait till you. I would tell you, wait till you get there and go to the store. I'm sure you can find some at some. They got drugstores and there in Colombia that you can buy that type of stuff. Wait till you get there and buy the stuff, and then when you leave, then you just throw it away. I know, but too many content creators is making it bad for everybody else. I'm still seeing very nasty content that they're putting out there. Some people is putting out sexual explicit content, you know, and they don't like that. They don't want their country to be only known for a sexual flop house. They don't want that. They don't want that type of reputation. So they're really cracking down. Matter of fact, somebody said I got a notification that there are before you enter Parker Jarris, you have to show ID. It was a line to get into Parker Jarris now. And they showed me the video of them patting people down and stuff, you know. Hello, Jay. How you doing? How are you? How are you? You doing okay? Good. Like I said, if this is your first time being on this channel, do a favor for me. Give me a like and give me a subscribe. I would definitely really appreciate it. On this channel, we talk about geoeconomics and we talk about the travel space. Okay, I keep you addressed on issues going on around the world and going on in the travel space too. Okay, and we talk about a whole lot of other news too. If this is your first time on this channel, please hit that like button and subscribe. Okay. Good to see you, Jay. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, I will be careful. I will not have any condoms or anything sexual in my bag or do any type of content that is sexually explicit. You know, there's one content creator, I'm not going to mention his name, but he put all his business out there. He just put all his business out there about him and his ex-girlfriend, and they used to do this together. I don't know why he's doing that. Why would you put very personal things on YouTube about you and your girl when you and your ex-girlfriend used to do? I don't even know if she's actually aware that he's putting all that information on her on YouTube. They don't listen, Marcus. They just don't listen. And I mean, they are cracking down. I'm serious to them. They are really serious about this. They didn't shut down Parkajeras, but I saw a video now that you got to stand in line. They check your ID before they allow. They really, the mayor of Medellin, he's serious. He is really serious. He's really serious about stopping that sex tourism in their country. They are really serious about that. So you're not going to turn my country into a sexual flop house. But the biggest number one problem is bad content on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. What's up, brother? What's up, Plant Base? Good to see you, man. Glad you're on my channel, man. What's happening? What's happening? Do a favor for me. Hit that like button and subscribe. I really appreciate it, man. It helped the channel grow, okay? Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for stopping by. Let me see. Went down to 4 people. Okay. They don't watch your videos where it's more real and more on warning. I know nobody listens to me. Nope. Nobody listens to me, Marcus. Nobody listens. Everybody wants to be entertained. Everybody wants to be entertained. I tell you, I will be back in Colombia again, and I will be doing videos. I promise to be back. Let me see. It's seen the video you showed me on Brazil. Man was bragging. Yeah, he was bragging. Yep. Yeah, he was bragging. Yep. Yep, they was bragging. Talk about how many women. I mean, if you're doing videos that you always up on a girl, all the time, every thumbnail, you in some woman's face, you know, they're going to look at that and they're going to determine that they don't want you to enter into their country. See, Jerry, we deeply, okay, support law enforcement, okay. Yeah, but it's making it bad for all of us. So I gotta really be extra careful. I have to really be careful when I go. I gotta make sure that my phone, no pictures, no videos, nothing of any females or anything. Sometimes these girls, they send you videos, they send you pictures. It's best to delete all the pictures because you don't know if they may ask for your phone. Let's see. I have only one question. Why do American men get mad at American women for exposing their sex life in podcasts, but you have no problem exposing sex life in different countries? I'm sorry, I have one question. Why do American men get mad at American women for exposing their sex life in podcasts, but you have no problem exposing your sex life? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, they do that. I mean, I don't know why they get off of exposing so much on social media. I don't know, but I think it's really stupid though, because I'm telling you, these countries they don't like foreigners. I mean, they're starting to show that they think we just don't have no respect for their country. When you go to Brazil and when you go to the Dominican Republic, and that's all you show is working girls, and you said, like I told you, there was a guy that he was doing videos. He's just sitting up there in the hot tub in his drawers with 3 or 4 working girls in the hot tub, and he taped it and posted it on Instagram like it's no big deal. Eric, what's up, man? What's up, Eric, good to see you, brother. Thank you again for your support. Thank you for the super chat the last time, and thank you for the cash up, Eric. Hey, Eric, make sure, because you're a member, man, and I have that wealth building on my WhatsApp. You're a member, so you got perks, man. So the number for the WhatsApp app is 248-653-9666. 248. Let me see. 248-65. Let me see. Man, oh my God. 248-656-9666. I'm sorry. 653-9666. But what I'm gonna do is, Eric, I'm gonna put it in the description on this video. Okay. After the live, I'm gonna put the description of the information on the description here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Bitcoin. For those of you that is one of my members, or some of you are members of my channel, and you know I do wealth building on my member channel. You know, I give advice about building wealth. And Bitcoin has really, really been going down. Somebody asked me, why do I think Bitcoin is going down? I really don't have no answer for it, but it could be a correction. Sometimes the stock market goes through a point where they call it corrections. They call it corrections. So sometimes a stock could be overvalued. So it could be a major, because Bitcoin was like, oh my God, it was approaching, it was like 90 something thousand. It was going up there. But now it's going way, way, way down. I don't know how far it's going to go. That's why I don't invest in cryptocurrency too much. That's why I don't do too much crypto. Crypto is extremely, extremely volatile. 1 minute you could be making money, and the next minute it just can go down on you, you know? So I'm not for sure what's causing Bitcoin to go down. I'm not for sure. So how's everybody? Anything going on? I should know what's going on. I got something I want to tell you guys about this guy. He got scammed by these Filipinos, man. They really know how to scam old men. But let me ask you guys a question. Do you think it's possible for a older man to have a serious relationship with a younger woman? Or do you think it's impossible? Do you think that he's going to be used and that he's just going to be just a sugar daddy? What do you all think about that? Yeah, let me know in the comment section. Everybody's so quiet. Well, only thing I could say, you have to be very cautious, extremely cautious. Yeah, Philly Dom got robbed. Yeah, I seen him. Yeah, he got robbed. Yeah, he did get robbed. I tell you, content creator, I mean, being a content creator, it's not easy. It's not. It's not. It's not. And from what I'm hearing, you really don't make that much money off of YouTube either. Being a content creator is not easy. Doing these lives and stuff with you guys, it's not easy. It's not. YouTube is a very, yeah, it takes a lot of work to be good at this. Even today, I'm still struggling to grow my channel. You have to love what you do, you know. So let me see what Marcus says. I'm going to be honest. There are a couple out there where the man is older than the woman. Look at Ronald Isley. He's in his 80s and his wife in her 30s. It does exist. You know what? I thought that the girl was in her 40s, Marcus. She's not that young. I think she's in her 40s. Yeah, I think she's in her 40s. Let me ask y'all a question. Why do so many men, older men, go to the Philippines and they try to have relationships with these younger, like really younger women? Why do you think they do that? You said it's been a while since I did my research on her, but last time I checked, she was in. I thought that she was in her 40s. I thought that she was in her 40s. Hmm. Yeah, you gotta be careful as a content creator. You gotta be careful, man. Yeah, that's too bad what happened to Philly Dom. That's too bad. They took his phone, they took his computer. Happened in Vietnam, yep. He's in Vietnam. Okay, you said from the last time you checked. Okay, last time I checked too, she was in the 40s, yeah. But I'm talking about men. They said these old men in the Philippines be dating these girls like they'd be like 22, 23 years old or 24 years old. Oh, you said they do it because they've been divorced so many times. Wow. Let me see what else we got. See where everybody. Let me see. But I say I feel like these older men should know better, despite being lonely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They should. They should know better. They should know better. But there's a lot of older retirees going to the Philippines dating really younger girls, younger women. I'm sorry. And what's so sad about they are getting used. They are getting scammed and losing their whole entire retirement. You know. Hey, how you doing? Who's this? Terry. What's up, Terry? Subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Well, I'm just going to jump on for a minute. I'm just going to share something with y'all. Sometimes they said there's no food like an old food, you know. And I'm to share this story what this guy did. It messed himself up. And you know what? I always tell you all to stay away from websites and stuff because those seem like that's where the biggest scams happen is on those websites. And he went on Asian.com and he met a Filipino. I'm not saying all Filipinos are bad. There are some good ones. Salute, Josh. What's up? What's up? What's up, brother? Everybody hit that like button. Please, I appreciate it. Well, like I said, there's no fool like an old fool. And she really made a fool out of him, man. And I want to give you guys some advice. This is really good advice. Really good advice. And salute to you, Josh. Salute to you. Never, 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 never disclose your financial situation with anybody. Yeah, he had a lot of red flags that he ignored. Let me tell y'all something. Never disclose your financial information with nobody under no circumstances. I don't care how nice the girl is. I don't care how beautiful she is. I don't care how nice she seems. Do not disclose your financial information with nobody. Because there's two things that can happen to you. The number one thing, you can get scammed. Or number two, you can get kidnapped and held for ransom. I talked to a retired FBI agent. And he told me he saw many, many, many cases of foreigners getting kidnapped. And they wanted to ransom to have them back. You said Sunshine Anderson's coming back to Sunshine Shoulders coming back to the States? I thought he was in Vietnam. Why, hey Josh, let me ask you a question. Is he still with that Filipina? Yeah, that's right. Hit that like button. You said you've been knowing your husband for 26 years, and you said you never got scammed or anything like that. Yeah, I'm not, you know what? I'm not saying, what's your name, Miss Cher Bear. I'm not saying all women this way, but I'm just trying to, have these men, they need to be more careful when they go to foreign countries. Because a whole lot of them are getting scammed, getting robbed, and some of them are getting unalive. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, this guy, what I'm getting ready to show, this story I'm getting ready to share with you all, this guy, he was communicating with this woman for 2 years on Asian.com. And they started communicating with each other on WhatsApp and through social media. 2 years. And he goes down there to the Philippines and he falls all in love with this woman. And she steals $80,000 from him. Let me see, what about, I'm not sure. Just I did it live last night saying he was coming back to the States. Oh, man. Why is he coming back to the States? I don't know. He seemed like he was really happy with the girl that he's with down there. Why would he come back here? Because he came back to the States before. He said he hated it. Yeah, I saw him. He said, I think he was streaming from Vietnam, if I'm not mistaken. Because on the name of his video, when he put the video out, he said, "I'm going to Vietnam." So I wonder if he's still with that same Filipino woman. It seemed like he really worshipped the ground she walked on. And I think they have like 2 kids or something like that too. I don't know. I don't know. What's up, Josh? Joseph? What's up, brother? Yeah, it's so good to see you, man. Yeah, I will be heading back out to Colombia very soon. I got to get back out there as a must. Cookie is drifting away. I can't let that happen. She sent me a very sad picture the other day. I told her I was coming soon. She said, "Oh, you said that before." I was like, "Uh-oh, here we go." Because see, one thing you gotta understand this, y'all. Always remember that life goes on. They don't wait for you. Like I went back out there and I looked for Barbie. She was gone. Life goes on. It's not like when you leave, everything is standing still until you get back. Everything continues to move. Life goes on. A lot of them probably find other relationships, other ones, maybe get married. Some of them probably end up getting pregnant, having a baby. There's so many other things can happen between the times that you go there and come back. But you just cannot expect for things, to be exactly the same. That's why I tell you all, you long distance relationships, don't do them. Let me tell you this from experience, you will be miserable. Yeah, they should know the red flags. Yeah, this guy, he got really scammed out of $80,000. And what's so crazy about this story? This is a common thing that happens. He was 64 years old. And most retirements like that takes your whole it takes you it takes basically your whole life to save that type of money. Most of us in our lifetime probably won't see $80,000. Thank you, Joe. I'm glad you enjoy my lives, man. I appreciate that, bro. I'm glad you like my lives, man. I just try to give you guys the truth. I try to give you the truth but the truth. So help me God. I just don't want you all to get caught up. So never, 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 never disclose your financial situation with anybody. Because you got people out there that will set you up. Say, what's up, Tony? I'm tired up, but enjoy your life. Oh, that's okay, bro. Joseph, you always on my lives. I really appreciate you, bro. No matter how big this channel grows, you guys will always be my core members, man. What's up? What's up? Let me see. What's this? Z. What's up, Z? Z Khan, what's happening? What's happening? If you're new here, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you like, subscribe. Let's grow this channel. Let's grow. And one more thing, I'd like to tell you guys. Let me tell you something. Sometimes make sure y'all leave a comment on the video too. No, very few people leave comments One thing about me, I always return comments. When you make a comment on the video, I always return comments. Okay? I always acknowledge when a person makes a comment on any of all my videos. What do you mean what I'm doing? I don't understand what you mean. What you mean, Easy? Easy, are you back in Europe or are you still in Colombia right now? I know you say you was leaving Colombia. Or are you could be in Brazil. You go everywhere. Where are you? Are you in Brazil? Oh, you're still in Colombia. Okay, okay, okay. You know, as soon as I start making money on this live stream, I mean on this channel, get to a certain point, then I'm gonna get my StreamYard back so I can start doing interviews again. But it got too expensive. StreamYard is very, very expensive. Let's see, that's a prime example of that. No matter where you do, go to place is paradise. No, no place is paradise. No place is paradise. Yeah, you have to always no, I'm talking about StreamYard, the stream program that I was using. Yeah, you have to pay for that. Yeah, you have to pay for that. Oh, Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah. Woo wee. Hold on, let me give me another drink. We're gonna talk about Jeffrey Epstein, then we're gonna get into this other video, okay, guys? I'll be right back. Oh boy. Yeah, my voice, y'all know I got a bad voice, so I gotta keep it liquefied. So what do I think about the Epstein files? Oh my God. Ooh wee. Man, oh man, oh man, those Epstein files. Wow. Man, oh man. They got so many people on that Epstein file. They got Jay-Z. They got Jamie Foxx. They got Bill Gates. They got Donald J. Trump. They got a lot of people on those Epstein files. Yeah, Skyler, yeah. Skyler YouTube channel was deleted. Yeah, yeah. And Jill Jackson too. Gilmo Jackson, they took his video. I tried to warn him too. I tried to warn him. I said, your videos look too dirty, bro. Yeah, they were doing crazy things. Yeah, yeah. Jimmo Jackson, he would have thumbnails with girls with their fannies hanging out. You know what I'm saying? I sit there, I say, why you? I said, why would you do a video and you put that type of thumbnail on your video of a girl with her booty cheeks hanging out? You know what I'm saying? With Daisy Dukes on and stuff like that. You're asking for it. And then they be talking about yeah, if you want to see more, come to my Patreon, subscribe to my Patreon. To me, I think that's exploitation. To be to be honest with you, when you use these women that way, that is exploitation. Yeah, it's too hard for YouTube. Yep, they put it on. They try to make money off of Patreon, and but they're doing it at the girl's expense. That's not right. That's not right, man. That's not right because a lot of these girls they're poor. They're poor. They live in poverty, and I just couldn't live with myself knowing that I'm doing something like that. I don't care if they was down with it or not. I won't. I'm not going to do it. I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to exploit these girls that way. That way, I would never do nothing like that. Yeah, it's too spicy for YouTube. Yeah, so they do the Patreon. But talking about the Epstein files, let me tell you what I think is going to happen with the Epstein files. Y'all want to know? Y'all want me to tell you about what I think about the Epstein files? Want me to tell you about what I think was going to happen? 120 want to give you my thing what's going to happen with the Epstein file? Let me say, how do you help those women? Some women decide to do it. They have a choice. Yeah, they choose to have a choice, but you have to be the bigger person, easy. Even if they choose to do it or not, you have to be the bigger person. You have to be the one that set things right. Because what I'm trying to tell you is that a lot of these girls, they do it out of desperation. You see what I'm saying? They need the money. If I'm more financially secure, and I'm going over to Colombia and these other countries doing videos and exploiting these working girls to come on Patreon, that's exploitation. It is. Yeah, even if they decide to do it, but you have to be the bigger person. You have to have a conscience about you. You have to stand up. Even though they're not standing up for themselves, you stand up for them. You stand up for these women. How are they supposed to know what country doesn't want them to do? Being from a higher economic place doesn't mean being smart or knowing right from wrong. Yep. Well, some people don't have a conscience. Me, I have a conscience. Because, see, we live in a world where people just want to do exactly what they want to do. Like in the Epstein files. Like in the Epstein files. Those people on Epstein, those people that was hanging out with Jeff Epstein, they thought they could do whatever they want to do without impunity to those girls. They thought because they was in a higher standard that they were billionaires. They could do whatever they want to do and abuse those women. And some of the things I heard that they did, man, I can't even say this on YouTube. I can't even say some of the things I heard that I actually saw on the Epstein files was just disgusting, man. Yeah, I'm not saying it's about them. I'm saying it's about you. It's about me. I have to be the bigger person. Easy. I have to make that decision, even if they want to do it or not. I'm not going to do it. Yeah, they do it for the easy money fight. And they do it. But to me, if I'm in a higher economic status, right? I'm in a higher economic status and they're very poor because I'm telling you, I've seen some very, very poor people before in Colombia. Very poor, extremely poverty poor. And for some of them for money, they probably would do the Patreon and some extra things, to make some money. But I can't, I can't live with myself knowing that I was a part of that, of exploiting people like that. No, I'm not saying being a doormat. What I'm telling you is I have a conscious. I can't create a separate page or a Patreon or something that I'm showing explicitly sexual content to benefit myself from someone else. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? I'm not perfect. I'm not sitting up here being perfect. But I believe there's an almighty God that's up there, and he looks at everything. He knows your heart. He knows what you do. You see what I'm saying? When you go before God, he's not going to ask, how did she treat you? It's going to be, how did you treat her? It's going to be about you. That's what I'm saying. Because what you're doing, you're profiting, you're making money for somebody else's downfall. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong. Now, if you want to, help her out, give her a few dollars, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying not to do that. But I'm not going to be making sex videos for everybody else to watch, for people to pay to be able to come in and look and see what I'm doing to her. That's exploitation. There's nothing wrong with having a female on your video. There's nothing wrong with it. If you're going out to dinner, going to the bar, having a good time, going on a hike, going to the coffee plantation, going to Provenzo to, go for a walk, and you're showing her on video, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Every woman costs money, but they have tag price. Yeah, they cost money. Yeah, yeah. But always remember, you don't want to profit off of someone else's downfall, because a lot of those women are in their business because they have no other alternatives. I remember I sat down and I talked to a female, a working girl one time in Colombia. I talked to her, sat down, we had a talk. And I said, how hard is it really out here for you all? They said it's very hard. They said there's no opportunities, not many opportunities. It says, some of them described to me, they said it's like living in quicksand. The more you work to try to get out of it, you're being pulled back in. That's what poverty does. Look at Venezuela, for example. Venezuela has had economic sanctions on that country for many years. You know what economic sanctions do to a country? Yeah, but it's normal jobs, but those jobs don't pay very much. Yeah, it pays very little. Pays very little. Very little. You remember I had Anita on my channel doing an interview, remember? And I asked her, how hard is it? And she's Colombian. She lives here in the States now. She lives here in the States now. And sometimes I bring her on as a guest on my show. She says, it's very hard. It's very hard. Yeah, it's just, Mark, it's just the environment. It's, one thing I noticed down there, I'm talking about because I've been there multiple times. I've been there. I've been there. And sometimes every day is like a hustle. I know a girlfriend. I have a girlfriend down there. She gets a job. Everything seems like it's getting better, and then she loses the job. She doesn't have the job anymore. They lay her off. Then she goes back to work, and then they lay her off again. She said it's hard. It's hard down there. It's not like here. You have a lot of more opportunities here than you do there. Much more opportunities here. And God forbid the pandemic. When they went through the pandemic, it was really bad. It was really bad during the pandemic. Where's everybody coming on here talking about gay stuff? Always, what do they have to do with what we talking about? There's some crazy trolls on YouTube, boy. What are you talking about? This is a troll. Okay, these are trolls. Okay. Getting some trolls out here. Okay, we're ready to do this video for you guys. This is the guy who got robbed out of $80,000. I want y'all to hear this. Just 1 second before this up. Okay, here we go. Give me a few minutes here. Okay, got it here.
They say love is blind, but greed has perfect vision. I learned that the hard way when I lost 63 years of savings in 72 hours. Some mistakes cost you money. Others cost you everything you thought you knew about trust. If our stories resonate with you, Don't forget to like, comment, and tell us where you're watching from. This story was shared with us by one of our longtime viewers, and he wanted his experience heard. I'm 64 years old and I thought I knew better. That's what makes this whole thing so damn hard to swallow. My name's Frank, and I've been a mechanic my whole life in Alabama. Fixed everything from lawnmowers to 18-wheelers. I could diagnose any engine problem just by listening, but I couldn't hear the lies coming through my computer screen for 2 solid years.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay. Like Anita and Paulina, they knew they couldn't control the economics and still push through and still. Yeah, some people make it, but I'm just saying the great majority, a lot of them don't make it. There's some that do get lucky, they do make it. And I'm not trying to make no excuses, but it's very hard, very difficult. And usually, when they do get jobs, it's through somebody who they know. It's like a brother or a cousin or somebody that already is have connections. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying a lot of them is really hard. It's very difficult because you still don't have as much opportunity there as you do over here. So you got to go there and see for yourself. I've been there multiple times, so I know what I'm talking about. And I have talked to multiple people, so I know what I'm talking about.
My wife Margaret passed 3 years ago from cancer, and the house got real quiet real fast. I tried dating locally, but women my age seemed more interested in my pension than my company. That's when my neighbor suggested I try one of those international dating sites. Frank, he said, those Filipino women know how to treat a man right. They're family-oriented, respectful, not like these American women who just want your money.
And see, that's the thing you always hear. You always hear, oh, the Filipino women, they know how to love their man. They are very traditional women. They know how to treat. Now, I'm not saying that there are no women out there just like that, but I'm just telling you, if you go that route, be extra, extra cautious. Okay? Because some of these women are wolves in sheep clothing.
Boy, was he wrong about that last part. I created a profile on Asian Cupid.
Asian Cupid, I see that
Just
site
me
before.
standing next to my pickup truck, wearing my best button-down shirt. I got a few messages, but most were obvious scams. Then Angelica messaged me. Her profile picture showed this beautiful woman with long black hair and the kindest eyes I'd ever seen. She was 35, from the Philippines, and her message was different. She didn't ask about my finances or talk about needing help. She just said I looked like a kind man and wondered if I'd like to chat. We started talking every day. Video calls at night, messages throughout the day. She had this soft voice that made everything sound beautiful. Frank, she'd say, you have such gentle eyes. I can tell you have a good heart. She told me about her simple life in Navotas, how she worked at a small store and...
You remember I told you about the flattery? They're very good at flattering you. They always tell you about how good you look and how handsome you are. That's the number one MO that they use. It's that flattery game.
Took care of her family. She never asked for money, not once in 2 years. That's what made me trust her completely. I don't want a rich man, she'd tell me during our late-night calls. I just want someone who will love me and be faithful. Someone who wants to build a life together. We'd talk for hours about everything. She'd show me pictures of the sunset from her window, and I'd show her my garden. She seemed genuinely interested in my stories about fixing cars and my memories of Margaret. You must have loved her very much, Angelica said one night. I hope someday someone will love me like that. The way she said it, so wistful and hopeful, just melted my heart.
Right.
After 18 months of talking, I knew I was falling for her. After 2 years, I was convinced she was the woman I wanted to spend my remaining years with. Angelica, I told her one December evening, I want to come visit you. I want to meet you in person and ask you something important. Her face lit up on the screen. Frank, I've been waiting for you to say that. I love you so much and I can't wait to hold you in my arms. I booked my flight for February, spending $3,000 I really couldn't afford to lose. But love makes you do stupid things, and I was more in love than I'd been since my 20s.
How can you be in love with somebody that you never met before? That's the number one red flag right there. You can't fall in love. I don't care what type of website that you're conversing with these women on. You can't fall in love with nobody that you never met before. So that was a red flag right there.
The 20-hour journey to Manila felt like flying to another planet. I'd never been outside the United States except for a weekend in Mexico 40 years ago. As the plane descended toward Ninoy Aquino Airport, my stomach was doing flips. What if she didn't like me in person? What if the chemistry wasn't there? What if I'd made a terrible mistake, but when I walked out of customs and saw her standing there holding a sign with my name, all my fears melted away.
Marcus.
She was even more beautiful in person, and when she saw me, tears started streaming down her face. Frank!
See, a lot of these men are so lonely until it's like they become desperate for love. They're desperate. Because I'm seeing mistakes already. He meets her online and then he's talking about he loves her. You don't love her. How can you be in love with somebody that you never even met, for number one? Number two, he's talking about his past wife, that he misses her and stuff like that. He haven't heard nothing from that. But he's just leaving himself just wide open to be taken advantage of. And some of these women, they have that way they can just they can zone right in your vulnerabilities. Like, how can you love someone you haven't even met or kiss or even touch? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's men out there, they want to be in love so bad, and they're so lonely, they'll do desperate things. And that's what scammers, that's what they look for. That's what they look for.
She called out, running toward me with a bouquet of flowers. You're really here. She threw her arms around me, and I felt like I was 20 years old again.
Wow.
The ride from the airport through Manila was overwhelming. The traffic was insane. Motorcycles weaving between cars, jeepneys packed with people, vendors walking between vehicles selling everything imaginable. But Angelica held my hand the whole time, pointing out landmarks and telling me stories about her city. This is my world, Frank, she said. It's not fancy, but it's full of love and family. Her apartment was small, maybe 400 square feet, but she decorated it with flowers and candles for my arrival. The smell of adobo filled the air. I cooked your favorite, she said, though I'd never told her what my favorite Filipino dish was. But it tasted like heaven, and watching her fuss over me, making sure I had enough rice, asking if the food was too spicy, I felt more cared for than I had in years. That first night, we sat on her tiny balcony looking out over the neighborhood. Kids were playing.
What you mean, Lamar? What you mean back up? What you mean? What do you mean by back up? You said, damn boy, you blind. Yeah, he was blind. Did you want me to back up, Lamar? Did you want me to back up, Lamar? Okay, I'm going to keep going.
In the street below, and you could hear families talking and laughing from other apartments. This is what I want to give you, Frank, she said, squeezing my hand. A life full of warmth and family. The next day, she insisted I meet her family. "They're so excited to meet you," she said. "I've told them so much about you." We took a jeepney to a slightly nicer area, where her family rented a small house. Her mother, Elena, was a tiny woman with gray hair and the same kind eyes as Angelica. She hugged me like I was already her son-in-law.
Thanks for the 100, Marcus. Thanks for the gift, man. Marcus Brandon, thanks for the gift, brother. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for the 100, bro. Thank you for the 100. Well, there was another red flag just happened. I mean, go and see the family so quickly. I mean, as soon as he got there, he's going to see the family. So what they're doing is they weaving him in, they pulling him in. And see, that could be dangerous. That could be dangerous because what if they're trying to kidnap you? Because kidnappings do happen. What if they are on the scam? Remember, oh, you're gonna find out, Marcus.
"Welcome, Frank," she said in broken English. "Angelica loves you so much. We are so happy you're here." Her brother Rico was a different story. He was maybe 40, unemployed, and looked at me like I was a walking ATM. "Welcome to the Philippines."
Look at him like he's a walking ATM. That's what they do. They treat you like a walking ATM.
"There are many opportunities here for someone with your resources." Angelica also introduced me to her teenage sister Maya, who was sweet but shy and kept staring at me like I was some exotic creature. During dinner, Elena started coughing badly. Angelica looked worried and started speaking to her in Tagalog. "What's wrong?" I asked.
Yep.
"Mama needs medicine for her lungs," Angelica explained.
Uh-oh.
"She's been sick for months, but we can't afford the prescription. It costs 8,000 pesos.
That's the red flag right there. He should have walked right then and there. Let me tell you guys something. If you meet a female and the first thing she asks for is for you to save her family, run. Run, 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 run. That's a red flag right there. Like, see ya, goodbye. You haven't even been in the Philippines for a whole day, and she's already asking you for money to buy prescription for her family, for her mother. Get the heck out of here. That's the number one classic red flag. When they start asking you to do things for the family. And he only been in the Philippines for one freaking day. And they already asking this man for money.
And we barely have enough for rent.
Uh-oh.
8,000 pesos was only about $150. Without even thinking, I pulled out my wallet.
Pull
"Here,"
his
I
wallet
said,
out.
handing Angelica the money. "Get your mother whatever she needs."
Mm-mm.
Elena started crying and kissing my hands, speaking rapid Tagalog, while Angelica translated. "She says you're an angel from God," Angelica said, tears in her eyes. "Frank, I can't believe how generous you are." Rico suddenly became very interested in our conversation. "Frank, you're a good man," he said. "Maybe while you're here..."
Yep, they just turned him into an ATM machine. That's what they did. They just turned you into a walking ATM machine.
"I can show you some investment opportunities. Americans can make good money here if they know the right people." Something about the way he said it made me uncomfortable, but Angelica squeezed my hand. "Rico just wants to help," she said.
Help do
He
what?
knows this country better than anyone. 2 days later, I couldn't wait any longer. I had the ring in my pocket, a simple diamond solitaire I'd bought at a jewelry store in Birmingham
He's
before
moving
leaving.
way too
We were
fast.
walking along Manila Bay at sunset, and the whole scene was like something from a movie. Street vendors were selling flowers, couples were taking pictures, and the sky was painted in oranges and pinks. Angelica, I said, stopping and getting down on one knee, right there on the seawall. These past 2 years talking to you, and these few days being with you, have been the happiest of my life. Will you marry me? She gasped and started crying immediately. Yes, Frank, yes, yes, yes. She threw her arms around me, and people around us started clapping.
How can you marry a girl that you don't even know? How? How? You only know her for a couple of days and you put the ring on her finger. But what I'm trying to tell you all on this live, these type of mistakes happen a lot. A lot. There are older men that are going down to these countries, and these women are making a complete fool out of these men.
I slipped the ring on her finger, and she kept staring at it like she couldn't believe it was real. I love you so much, she whispered.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be your wife more than anything in the world.
Yeah, right.
Back at her apartment that night, we started talking about logistics. Frank, she said, I want to marry you before you go back to Alabama. I don't want to wait months for visa paperwork and long-distance planning. The idea excited me. But is that even possible? I asked. We'd need paperwork, blood tests, all kinds of legal stuff.
Oh, here we go.
Angelica smiled. My friend Carlos is a lawyer.
Nope. I'll call my lawyer in the States.
It costs some money, but he can arrange everything. The next morning, we met Carlos at a cafe in Makati. He was a smooth talker.
He is straight up simping, man. No, it's worse than being a simp. He's being foolish. I would have told that one. I said, no, I ain't dealing with no lawyers here. I'm going to call my lawyer in the States. He could easily have called a lawyer here in the States. You don't trust her to get a lawyer? Oh, my God.
Guy in his 50s, dressed in an expensive suit, speaking perfect English. Frank, congratulations on finding such a beautiful bride, he said, shaking my hand. I can have you married by Friday if you want. It requires some fees to expedite the paperwork.
Oh, heck you no.
Plus my legal fees. But I guarantee everything will be legal and official. He quoted me $3,000, which seemed steep.
$3,000?
The romance of it all. Money's no object, I said.
Money's no object. Holy crap. Oh, man, this just made me depressed just by listening to this. I need to cut this off. I probably can't listen to all of this. Oh, my gosh. It's like going to the slaughterhouse. And he paid this guy 3,000 American dollars. Was something if he would did in the state would cost very, very less. But this is what's happening a lot to these men who meet these girls online. They go over to these Asian countries like Thailand and the Philippines. I'm not saying everybody in the Philippines and Thailand is like that. But I just don't understand. They go over there and they do not use common sense. No common sense.
To marry this woman as soon as possible. Friday morning arrived, and I put on the only suit I'd brought. Angelica looked stunning in a simple white dress she'd bought for the occasion.
Okay, so?
The ceremony was at City Hall with just her family present. It wasn't fancy, but it felt real. When the judge pronounced us husband and wife, I kissed my new bride and felt like the luckiest man in the world. Mrs. Thompson, I whispered in her ear, and she giggled like a schoolgirl. That evening, we celebrated at a nice hotel restaurant. I called my sister Janet back in Alabama from the hotel room. Janet, guess what? I got married today. There was silence on the other end.
Yeah, she's like, what?
Frank, please tell me you're joking. I'm serious as a heart attack. Her name's Angelica, and she's the most wonderful woman I've ever met. Janet sighed. Frank, you've known this woman for what, a week? I've known her for 2 years. I corrected. We just met in person last week. Promise me you'll be careful, Janet said. Just be smart about this, okay? But I wasn't listening to warnings. I was drunk on love and possibility. That night, my new wife started talking about our future together. Frank, I want to start a small business, she said as we lay in bed.
Uh-oh, she's going to ask for more money.
Food cart. Something that can support us when you move here permanently. The idea sounded perfect. Whatever you want, sweetheart, I said. I want to help you achieve your dreams. She showed me some paperwork about local banking procedures. International.
Now she's starting to set up the scam, the big scam. Okay, talk about investing into a business. Actually, this guy is black, Josh. A 64-year-old black man did this.
Transfers can be complicated, she explained, but if we set up the right accounts, you can send money from Alabama and I can manage our investments here. Everything she said sounded practical and loving. Here was a woman who was thinking about our future, planning for our success. You're so smart, I told her. I never would have thought about these details. She smiled and kissed me. That's what wives are for, Frank, to take care of the things their husbands don't have time for. Saturday morning, Angelica suggested we go to her bank to set up joint accounts. Since we're married now, we should combine our finances, she said. That way, when you go back to Alabama, I can help man.
Now he's giving her access to his bank accounts. That's really foolish. He's now giving her access to his bank account. I don't understand that. That just do not make any sense. Foolish.
Our money here. It made perfect sense to me. We went to a branch of BDO, and Angelica had already prepared all the paperwork. The bank manager, Mr. Santos, seemed to know her well. Congratulations on your marriage, he said, though I don't remember telling him we'd just gotten married. The process was surprisingly quick. I added Angelica's name to my checking account routing information and gave her my online banking passwords. This way you can transfer
You
money
guys
to our
hear
joint
this?
account here whenever we need it, she explained.
Do you guys hear this?
Before I knew it, I was authorizing a wire transfer of $50,000 from my savings account in Alabama to our new joint account in Manila. This will be perfect for starting our business, Angelica said, watching the transaction process. Her eyes had a look I'd never seen before, not just happiness, but relief.
Yeah, she got $50,000.
It made me so happy. Now we can really start our life together. Sunday morning, I woke up to the sound of Angelica talking rapidly on the phone in Tagalog. When she hung up, I asked, "Who was that?" "Just Rico," she said, but she seemed agitated.
Yo, Rico.
He was telling me about some business opportunities we should consider. Throughout the day, her phone kept ringing.
More money.
Each time she'd step away to take the call, speaking in whispers. "Is everything okay?" I asked. "Of course, my love," she said, but her
Cheers,
smile
Brother
seemed
A.
forced. "It's just family business, you know how it is." I didn't know how it was, but I tried to be understanding. When I suggested we spend some quiet time together, just the two of us, she shook her head. "Frank, Carlos wants to meet with us this afternoon. He has some investment opportunities that could be perfect for us." I was starting to feel like we were on a business trip instead of a honeymoon. "Can't it wait?" I asked. "We just got married yesterday." But Angelica was insistent. "These opportunities won't wait, Frank. We have to strike while the iron is hot." That afternoon, Carlos introduced us to 3 other men at a restaurant in Quezon City. They had big smiles and firm handshakes, and they treated me like a VIP. "Frank, we have some exciting opportunities for a man with your vision," said a guy named Miguel. They laid out proposals for a construction company, a fishing business, and a food delivery service. All of them needed immediate capital.
So just remember, he already sent her $50,000. So now they're asking for more. The part that I don't understand is like I don't understand how nothing didn't click in his brain. Like something is off here. They're just asking for way too much money. We're talking about tens of thousands of dollars. Within a very short period of time.
And all of them promised returns of 30 to 40% within 6 months. "The key is moving fast," explained another man named Pedro. "These opportunities won't be available long." I felt overwhelmed and out of my depth. These weren't the simple business ideas Angelica and I had discussed. These were major investments requiring tens of thousands of dollars. "I don't know," I said. "This is all pretty complicated." But Angelica squeezed my hand under the table. "Frank, these are Rico's friends, their family. You can trust them completely." The pressure in the room was intense. These men were all looking at me expectantly, and my new wife was encouraging me to trust her judgment. Against every instinct I had, I agreed to invest $30,000 in the fishing business.
Oh, wow.
"You won't regret this, Frank," Miguel said, clapping me on the
He
back.
gave up another
"You'll have your first
$30,000.
returns within a month." Monday morning, I woke up in our hotel room alone. At first, I thought Angelica had gone to get coffee or breakfast, but her suitcase was gone. Her clothes, her jewelry, everything was missing. I called her phone immediately, but it went straight to voicemail. "You've reached Angelica, please leave a message." But something was wrong with her voice on the recording.
Wow.
It sounded different, older. Panic started setting in. I rushed down to the hotel lobby and asked the desk clerk if he'd seen my wife leave. "Sir, I saw a woman leave very early this morning with several suitcases," he said. "Maybe 5 o'clock." My hands were shaking as I grabbed a taxi to the bank. "Please drive fast," I told the driver. "It's an emergency." At BDO, I asked to check the balance on our joint account. Mr. Santos, who had been so friendly Saturday, now seemed cold and professional. "I'm sorry, sir, but the account balance is 0. My legs almost gave out.
Wow.
"What do you mean, 0? "All funds were withdrawn in cash yesterday evening at 6:30 p.m. The withdrawal was properly authorized, with all required signatures." I stared at the withdrawal slip he showed me. There was Angelica's signature, clear as day, authorizing the withdrawal of $80,000. The
$80,000.
$50,000 I'd transferred, plus the $30,000 for the investment that had apparently been rerouted through our joint account. "But I didn't authorize this," I said. "Mr. Santos showed me the signature cards I'd signed Saturday." "Sir, when you established joint access, you authorized either party to withdraw funds without the other's signature. This is standard procedure." My vision was getting blurry. In 3 days, I'd gone from the happiest man in the world to completely broke. "Can you reverse this? Can you trace where the money went?" Mr. Santos shook his head. "Sir, all..."
She took the money and she left. Drained his bank accounts. Sucked him dry. Left him with nothing. Within 1 week.
Withdrawals were legal and authorized. The money is gone. I sat in that bank lobby for an hour trying to process what had happened. My wife of 3 days had cleaned out our joint account and disappeared. The woman who'd cried when I proposed, who'd kissed me at the altar, who talked about our future together, she was a complete stranger. I took a taxi straight to Navotas, to the apartment where I'd met Angelica just 6 days ago.
This is
But
sad.
when I got there, the place was empty. Not just vacant, stripped bare. No furniture, no clothes, no signs that anyone had ever lived there. I knocked on neighbors'
Philippines,
doors,
Jay.
desperate for information. Most people just stared at me and shook their heads. Finally, an elderly woman
This
took pity
happened
on
in the
me.
Philippines.
"You're the American," she said in broken English. "I saw you with Rosa last week." "Rosa?" I said. "No, her name is Angelica." The woman shook her head sadly. Her name is Rosa Santos. This not first time. She do this before with other foreign men, maybe 3 times I see. My knees buckled, even her name was a lie. Where did she go? The woman shrugged. They all leave when finished business. The mama, the brother, the sister, all actors. All work
All of
together.
it was in it together, like you
I
said,
stood in
Marcus.
that empty apartment, surrounded by the remnants of my shattered life. Every conversation, every tear, every kiss had been a performance designed to separate me from my money. I went straight to the nearest police station, though I already knew what they'd tell me. The officer who took my report looked bored, like he'd heard this story 100 times before. Sir, how long you know this woman? 2 years
100 times
online, 1 week
before.
in person, I admitted, hearing how stupid it sounded. And you give her access to your money after 1 week? I nodded, feeling smaller with each question. Sir, this happen all the time. Foreign men come here, fall in love very fast,
Yep.
give money to beautiful woman, disappear.
Yep.
You not the first, you not the last. He explained that Rosa Santos, her real name, was part of an organized group that specialized in romance scams, targeting older Western men.
Yep.
The money is gone, sir. Probably moved through 5 different accounts already.
Yep.
Converted to cash, distributed to many people.
Yep.
Very hard to trace, very hard to prosecute.
Yep.
I asked about Carlos, the fake lawyer who'd expedited our marriage. Carlos Mendoza. He not lawyer. He has connections at City Hall, can make marriage certificates.
That's right, Jay.
But he not licensed attorney.
That's right.
Your marriage may not even be legal. The officer's final words hit me like a physical blow. So you give your life savings to a woman you know 1 week.
1 week.
What did you think would happen? I walked out of that police station broken in ways I'd never experienced. It wasn't just the money, though. $80,000 represented most of my retirement savings.
Yep.
It was the humiliation.
1 week.
The knowledge that I'd been played so completely, so expertly, that I'd never seen it coming. Every moment I'd thought was genuine. Her tears,
Barbara, how are you?
Excitement about
Good to see you, Barbara.
Her apparent love for me. It had all been carefully scripted theater.
You're doing great.
I was just another mark, another lonely old fool with a pension and poor judgment. The woman I'd fallen in love with didn't exist. Rose.
Just sharing the story about older men getting scammed by these younger women. Yeah. It's nice to see you again too, Barbara. Good to see you.
Santos, the real person, was a professional predator who'd studied me for 2 years, learning exactly what to say and how to act to make me trust her completely. With most of my money gone, I couldn't afford to change my flight home.
Wow.
I was stuck in Manila for another week with barely enough money for food and my hotel room. I moved to the cheapest place I could find, a dive hotel in Ermita, where the walls were thin.
Left him with nothing.
I spent those days walking around the city like a ghost, seeing everything through different eyes now. Every smile from a local seemed potentially predatory. Every friendly conversation felt like the setup for a scam. I started noticing other, older Western men with younger Filipino women, and I wanted to warn them, but couldn't bring myself to approach. What would I say? Don't trust her, she might be lying about everything. I'd become paranoid, suspicious of everyone and everything. The beautiful exotic city I'd fallen in love with now felt like a beautiful trap designed to separate tourists from their money. On my last day in Manila, I saw him, another American man, maybe 70 years old, holding hands with a girl young enough to be his granddaughter.
Wow.
They were at a jewelry store, and he was buying her an expensive necklace while she gazed at him with what looked like pure adoration. I recognized that look. I'd seen it in Angelica's eyes when she looked at me. I wanted to approach him, to tell him my story, to warn him. But I couldn't do it. Who was I to destroy his happiness? Maybe his situation was different. Maybe his love was real. Or maybe he was about to learn the same expensive lesson I'd just learned. I walked away, feeling like a coward, but knowing there was nothing I could say that would change his mind. Love makes you deaf to warnings, and hope makes you blind to red flags. The flight back to Alabama was the longest 20 hours of my life. I had plenty of time to replay every moment, looking for the signs I'd missed. How had she never asked for money in 2 years, then managed to get access to everything I had in 3 days? Why had the bank manager seemed to know her so well? Why had her family appeared so conveniently needy the first day I met them? Why had Carlos been able to arrange a marriage so quickly? The answers were obvious now, because it was all planned.
Mm-hmm.
The
All
entire
planned.
thing, from the first message on Asian Cupid to the empty apartment in Navotas, had been an elaborate 2-year-long con job designed
Yep.
specifically for me.
Yep.
Rosa and her team had studied my profile, my messages, my video calls.
Remember I told you guys about the long
exactly
game?
what I wanted to hear. They'd crafted the perfect woman to capture my heart
Mm-hmm.
and drain my bank account. The worst part was realizing that the Rosa I'd fallen in love with, kind, family-oriented, looking for simple happiness, was probably closer to what I actually wanted than what I'd had in my real marriage. They'd used my own dreams against me. Coming home to my empty house in Alabama was like waking up from a beautiful dream into a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
The place felt different, smaller, shabbier, lonelier than when I'd left.
Mm-hmm.
I
Loneliness.
sat at my kitchen table and calculated the damage. $80,000 gone, plus the $3,000 for the flight, plus the $3,000 for Carlos's legal fees, plus hotels and food and everything else. Nearly $90,000 total, about 70% of my retirement savings. At 64, I couldn't afford to retire anymore. I'd have to go back to work probably until I died. I called the shop where I used to work and asked if they needed an old mechanic. "Frank, we heard you got married and moved to the Philippines," my former boss said. "What happened?" I couldn't bring myself to tell him the truth. "It didn't work." "Out," I said. "Can I come back?" The humiliation of asking for my old job back was almost as bad as losing the money. I had to sell my house. The mortgage payments were more than my Social Security could cover, and I needed whatever equity I could get to survive. My sister Janet helped me find a small apartment across town. "Frank, I'm so sorry this happened to you," she said, as we packed up Margaret's things. "I should have tried harder to stop you. But we both knew nothing could have stopped me. I was a man in love, convinced I'd found my soulmate, ready to spend every penny to make her happy. The worst part was telling people what had happened. Word spreads fast in a small Alabama town, and everyone knew Frank Thompson had gotten scammed by some Filipino woman. At the grocery store, at the gas station, at church, I could see it in their faces, pity mixed with judgment. Poor old Frank. Lost his mind over some foreign gold digger. Some people were kind about it, but others weren't so tactful. "Frank, didn't you think it was suspicious that a beautiful young woman wanted to marry an
Yes,
old
these are
mechanic?"
true stories. Arizona,
"Well,
what's
yes,
up?
now. I did. The hardest part wasn't the money or the
Yep, these are
humiliation.
true stories.
It was the loss of hope. For 2 years, I'd had something to look forward to. I'd wake up excited to see Angelica's messages, eager for our video calls, dreaming about our future together. She, D, made me feel young again, desirable, like I had something valuable to offer, besides my bank account. Now I knew that was all an illusion, but it had been a beautiful illusion while it lasted. Without it, my life felt empty in ways I couldn't explain to anyone. I deleted all my online dating profiles. I stopped going to social functions. I avoided any place where couples might be happy together, because it reminded me of how foolish I'd been to think I could have that kind of happiness again. Margaret had been gone for 3 years, but now I felt like I'd lost her all over again, because I'd betrayed her memory by falling for someone else. 6 months later, I was back to way, working 40 hours a week at the garage, my arthritic hands struggling with wrenches and my back aching every night. But the physical pain was nothing compared to the emotional damage. I'd lie awake at night thinking about Rosa, wondering if any part of her feelings had been real. Had she felt any guilt when she was cleaning out our joint account? Did she think about the lonely old
Okay,
man whose
Barbara,
life savings
good
she
to
was
see
stealing?
you.
Or was I just another transaction to her, one of dozens of foreign men she'd
Good to
scammed
see
over
you.
the years? I'd probably never know, and maybe that was for the best. The truth would probably hurt more than the uncertainty. Some lessons cost everything. You have, and this one cost me my golden years, my retirement, my faith in love, and my ability to trust my own judgment. At 64, I learned that loneliness makes you vulnerable in ways you never expect, and that desperation can make even smart people do incredibly stupid things. They say there's no fool like an old fool, and now I know exactly what that means.
Yep. There's no fool like an old fool. There's no fool like an old fool. Yep. Yep. There's no fool like an old fool. And this is happening lots of times. Lots of times. Many old men, as we speak, are going over to Philippines, you know, talking to these young girls, and the girls finesse them out their money. This is real. This is real, guys. But I'm just here to tell you, don't let nobody make a fool out of you, okay? We all been made a fool, but don't be a damn fool. And I'm making this for older men too. Now, the question I ask you guys on the video, I say, can an older man be happy with a younger woman? I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this. Can it happen? Yes. But the odds of it happening is very, very low. The best thing you can ever do to protect yourself, I'm going to tell y'all this, I'm going to end this live. The best thing you can do, the best thing, if you talk about getting serious with a female, let her know from jump, I'm not no ATM machine. I'm not going to be buying nothing. I'm not going to be doing nothing. You let them know that from the beginning. I'm not buying no businesses. I'm not supporting your family. I'm not doing nothing. Sometimes I know some people are in relationships that they do help support the family. You do have some cultures that are like that. But that's a fine line, though, man. But it's best to meet someone that have something going for themselves. Okay? Like a nurse, like a doctor. They somebody like I'm talking about a real attorney or real doctor. Somebody that's a professional that don't need your money. Those are the ones that you should be looking for if you're talking about a long-term relationship. And always, 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 this is very important. If you are thinking about getting serious with someone, always do a background check. And you can't get a background check. You can hire a private investigator. It may cost a little money to do a background check on that person. Yeah, working girls or barmaid or bar girls, no, 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 no. I remember Dr. Dre used to say a long time ago in his music, you gotta stop trying to turn hoes into housewives. It won't work. You set yourself up to be very, very disappointed and hurt. But in this situation, I've seen so many red flags that he just went right by. But he was just so desperate. And when these people, these con people run these scams, they don't care. They don't care if they leave you with nothing. They left him stranded in the Philippines with nothing. She could have left a few dollars left in the bank account. Didn't even leave that. She didn't even leave no money in the bank account for him. She said, man, maybe I could leave maybe about a couple of thousand for him. That way he can buy a ticket to get back home. She didn't even care about that. Some of these women, they rate you as a zero. She rated him as a 0. He said, test for the coffee date. Let them know from jump that I am not supporting a lavish or family stuff. Yep. If they get mad and ignore it, then yeah, that's right. There you go, Jay. Yep, that's it. Like goodbye. It takes a fool to learn that love loves no one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It takes a fool to learn that love don't love nobody. It takes a fool. Who sing that song? What's the name of that group? I think it's the Manhattans that sing that song. It takes a fool to learn that love loves nobody. If this is your first time on this channel, make sure you hit that like and subscribe, please. The man of cheese said, hey, what's up, man of cheese? What's happening? What's happening? But don't just have a Martin Luther King's brother. Man, there's some trolls on this live, boy, I tell you. Boy, there's some lives on, there's some trolls on this live. It's funny. Some of you guys be so funny on here. Let's see. I think the Backstreet Boys. No. No, we talk about the old song. I think it's the Manhattans that sing this song. It takes a fool, or is it the Spinners? But anyway, love don't love nobody, y'all. You know, keep your money in your pocket. Keep your money in her pocket. The first thing she started talking about her family problems and buying a restaurant out. Nope, get the heck out of here. I heard some stories even worse than this one. They will use you, man. They will use you. But it could be worse. Like I said, he could have got kidnapped. He could have gotten kidnapped. And hold for ransom. That happens a lot too. That happens sometimes too. Well, the first thing I told you guys at the beginning of this live, never disclose your financial information to no one. No one. And she asks you what you do for a living, say, I shovel snow. I do cartwheels and backflips for money. Be as oblivious as you possibly can. Yep, that's you're right, Jay. Yep. It's written all over your face. Yep, it's written all over your face. Absolutely. It's written all over your face. Absolutely. Because always remember this, and they do this. You've been getting along all these years before you met me. And also now I'm the one going to rescue you. They make you feel like that you the superhero. They make you feel like a superhero. That's what they do. They make you feel like a superhero. You're the man with the cape on. You're going to swoop down and save everything. They do it all the time. They had, girls in Colombia do the same thing. Okay, well, I'm going to close this live. I hope you guys enjoyed it, man. Yep, they want you to be the Avengers. Yep. But worse, the Avengers don't be stopping at ATM machines. They save the world, but they don't be paying out of their pockets. Yep. So, okay, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for the gifts, Marcus, very much. Thank you, guys, for your support. I appreciate it. I do this because I really love you guys. That's why I come over here. I try to give you all what you need. And like I said, I will be back in Colombia very soon. And hopefully, when this channel grows, when I start getting something in, I could be able to get the StreamYard back up again. You know, I do miss it because I have a lot of videos on there I like to show you all. And, you know, yeah, that's true. Yep. Yep. They want you to be, want you to save them, but you can't save nobody. But what's so sad about it, they were very, very selfish and didn't show no remorse at all. I mean, at least she could have left them. I mean, you know, a couple of $1,000 in the bank. It wouldn't have hurt them that much, but they didn't care. They wiped out the whole entire bank account, left them with nothing. Let them know what they thought about him. Even though he, his heart was in the right place, they helped the family with the medication. She still didn't leave no money for him. That's how cold-blooded they are. That's how some cold-blooded people are. You could be the nicest guy and do good things, but it wouldn't matter to them. No, he wasn't drugged. He got caught into that love thing. Oh, she loved me. I love her. She didn't love you. She despised you. Even though you tried to help the family with the medication, she still didn't give you the benefit of the doubt. Still just wiped the bank account out and left them with absolutely nothing. Yep, left them with nothing. That's how they are. They cold-blooded. Some of these women are cold-blooded. Leave you with absolutely nothing. And some of them will leave you unalive. The ones that drug you won't even, you know, they give you so much of the drug, they can nearly unalive you. Won't even call the ambulance or nothing for get some help. They don't care. Like I said, you're this. This is what you are. Zero. They don't even consider you a human being. Yeah, that's horrible. That's cold-blooded there, man. Yep. Okay, guys. God bless. Leave a message. If you have any more questions, leave a message in the comment section sometimes, guys. I know there's a lot of these videos I get, nobody leaves nothing in the comments. Jay, you about the only one that leaves comments in the comment sections on the videos. If you have any questions, just let me know. You know me, I always answer my comments on my comment section in my on my videos. Hope I'm doing the right thing. I hope you guys enjoying this type of content, okay? Yep, we get away with attempted murder. That's true. They don't charge you with attempted murder until they actually kill you. Then they charge you with the murder. They have to unalive you first before they charge you with murder. Yep, cold-blooded by Buffalo Rick James. Yep. I think they're worse than cold-blooded though. That's inhumane, diabolical, without punity. You know what I'm saying? Didn't have no humanity in them whatsoever. I mean, nothing really came to her mind saying, you know, this guy did try to help my family out because the mom was sick, needed some medication. At least I could have left a couple of thousand or something in the bank. She didn't even do that. But guess what? Always remember this. Always remember this. Every dog have his day. Peace, family.